Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Truck. Its 10-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new nerd life and new nerd civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. Welcome to another episode of Tennessee Fro is Reading. I'm your host, Felicia Baxter. In this episode, I'm celebrating my Canadian listeners and all the listeners from overseas. Big ups to peoples in Norway, Sweden, United Kingdom, Spain, and Saudi Arabia. Hey, y'all. I was getting my butt kicked in Star Trek Online, and I couldn't figure out how to shoot my phaser, but I did actually figure that out and fight off a bunch of bat-left wielding Klingons. I've also discovered a little tidbit from the Star Trek Timeline Xbox console game that the Romulans hate synthetics, and it may be all due to the intervention of that annoying extraterrestrial being Q that punished the Romulans in the War of the Federation by sending them into Borg space. And then I am going to give you guys the reason why I gave 5 phaser blasts to this week's episode of Picard. Caught in a box. It was absolutely amazing. And I hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I've enjoyed creating it. So now I'm back online, and I've saved most of my crew from the Klingons, who are more vicious. So here it is. He wants us to follow his orders. And the Klingon queen, of whose Volk's bitch, you could say, she kills them in the hologram. And now we're like, what do we do now? I'm just happy I figured out the captain's order, and I wonder why I don't talk. I think I have to have a headset for that. Now that I'm happy that I figured out how to shoot and how to fight and return fire, now we say we're watching. We've lost power to weapons and shields. And she's looking over the body of the dead captain. So here we go. I'm slowly figuring out how to do all of this stuff. And I think it's just kind of crazy. I'm wondering how close I am to ending this tutorial. So now I'm with Evelyn Xavier.
The captain knew what was at stake. He gave the order and you followed it. If you hadn't, we'd probably all be dead now.
Oh, now so I get to be captain. Cool. Cool. I actually figured out how to turn and in the seat by double clicking on the right. This is what's tripping me out about this game, and why I am going to Starfleet Tactical Bridge. Why I'm actually going to have to
All decks have reported in. We took some casualties at sick bay.
why I'm actually going to have to navigate and probably end up buying an Xbox One with a controller, a wireless controller, because I can't remember all of the commands, and evidently it requires that it can take up to a day to basically change to the keyboard commands. But at least I figured out how to shoot, and I shot 4 Klingons. And now, since Schaefer is dead, I actually am the captain of the ship. But I have to finish this tutorial and listen to and get guidance from my teammates, which is completely crazy. And I'm enjoying it until I can actually buy my Xbox One. I'm going to just learn as much as my little brain can retain to be able to fight the Klingons. And out of all episodes, in all, it seems to be, or it seems to me anyways, out of all the iterations of the Klingons from the original Star Trek series, from Next Generation, and now on Discovery, this group of Klingons that are with Discovery seems to be even more vicious and even more insane than ever. So I am making some progress through Star Trek Online now that I'm figuring out the controls, but I'm not a programmer. I'm not going to be able to take a full day off to be able to change some of the keyboard commands. I'm really going to need to buy a hand controller. But there is another positive thing of that I am discovering too, is that my computer can serve as an Xbox One console, and Star Trek Timelines, I can actually play that. And oh, that's the other thing. I have to get a headset to be, I'm thinking I'm probably going to need a headset to be able to talk or speak the words of my character on Star Trek Online too. And I'm actually really looking forward to that. But there's also, it's called Star Trek Timelines, which is another game that I actually, that you can play for free. And I'm going to hopefully be able to figure out how to play this. This is the old Star Trek, or NCC 1701. I don't know if this is Constitution class or not, but it does appear to me to be one of the original Star Trek starships from the original series. And so I'm excited about being able to go on a few missions with that too. So that's what I've actually found in my discovery of Star Trek Online. I need a joystick. I don't have any desire to create my own key commands. And so my next major purchase will have to be an Xbox One with a wireless controller. So there you go. Oh, and also there is a snipping tool. It's called Snip and Sketch that I'm wondering if you can snip some things and then you can actually have a sketching command. That's going to be kind of cool. We'll be moving to a new home. Try improved features and snip like a usual with Snip and Sketch or Windows logo key Shift S. Interesting. But I'm going to be snipping this right quick. I thought I had pinned to the taskbar, but evidently I didn't. What is this? NCC 1701. I'm going to be using that as a possibility for my podcast this afternoon too, because I plan on posting and talking about Picard later on too, but there you go. So I am not completely efficient at playing Star Trek Online, but I'm slowly but surely getting there. So as part of my general hustle, I am most excited about what I have to do to continue to create content. And it requires that, number one, I continue to do my day job well, but I also gather up content and support from other sources. For a minute there, I tried Fiverr. That was exciting, but I'm limited by my day job. However, there's certain ways that you can actually publish links, Instagram, Facebook, on your blog, that will allow you to fund your passion project. Writer's Block Coffee is one of those things. Not only will it allow me to benefit from my own purchases, I'm actually my best customer, but it also supports what my intent is for this coffee. Writer's Block Coffee has actually been trademarked, and its mission in the industry is to supply writers with those working inside the publishing industry with finest coffee, provide revenue opportunities like me to publishers and other businesses through coffee products. And it's supporting book marketing efforts with custom labeled coffee, which I am drinking as we speak. Writer's Block Coffee bridges a gap between the coffee and publishing industry. Coffee shops are great for hosting writing and reading activities, but their services stops at the door. That's where Writer's Block Coffee starts. By offering coffee for every stage of a book's life, from the writing to the marketing, Writer's Block Coffee reimagines the role of coffee as a partner and not an accessory. This experience informs every step of Writer's Block Coffee takes, from the taste of the coffee to the shape of the partnerships. And I am a proud publisher of the links for you to enjoy this coffee too. So navigate to writersblockcoffee.com/10froisreading to find out about this, as well as the swag, and also enter the 10fro is reading promo code in to get 10% off of your order and shipping. And tell them that Felicia sent you. I start this episode giving 5 blasts to this week's episode 6 of Picard, The Impossible Box. The story, and again, this is a spoiler alert. If you're listening to this before you actually watch the episode, shame on you, because it's going to be full of spoilers. And I'm going to start this off as to why I'm giving this 4 blasts or 5 blasts from my phaser. Please, my friend, choose to live. My play boyfriend, Elnor, gave the catchphrase of the entire episode when, in his zeal to protect Picard because he wasn't going to listen to him and stay behind, he stayed behind on the Borg Q with the ex-Borg, which I think is so cool. They call up themselves ex-Bs or ex-Borg Q, to protect Picard and Soji as they escape the Borg artifact. And he knew it was his job to protect Picard, and I'm hopeful that he did not sacrifice that young, fine man. And we're going to see more of Elnor in more episodes to come. But this episode seemed and had a feel to be just as good as the initial episode. There wasn't a whole bunch of action towards the end, but I was pretty happy with it overall, and that's why I gave it the 5 blasts. Flashback to when Soji was with her sister, Daj, I think her name is. I think she starts to, and she has been suspecting for a while that she may not be who she is, and ulterior motives of Narek and his incestuous sister. It is as if he's investigating her, and it's through her dreams that the android homeworld seems to be buried. And also flash forward where the goofball Girardi, she actually also kills Maddox for reasons that are kind of unknown to me. I'm still not figuring and vibing what her deal is. And it would be kind of cool. I was thinking that maybe either between Elnor or Rios, they need to hook up with the sexually fluid 7 of 9. I think I would like to see that. And I think it would be a better match than Goofball Girardi. And I think she is a Black Widow. You get enticed by that hourglass on her belly, and then she strikes and you die. So, and I think she was right when she put on pause that it would be a bad idea for her to hook up with Rios, but as a typical male, he's led by his penis, they hook up. But I did agree with Nerix in his narrative on cognitive dissonance and how he used Soji and some type of Romulan tactic to mine your dreams to find out the information that they want. And I'm wondering if the XBs, the original Borg that we are used to, were only a transition to another sentient life form, to the perfect artificial life. And somehow Data and the Queen kind of figured all of this out, and they were able to reproduce and multiply on some faraway planet with double red moons. We also see the troubled Raffi hurting over a child and a grandchild that she will never know, because in her duty to protect and the Federation and follow Picard, she let down and she abandoned her family, and that's why her own son can't stand her. So she tries to self-medicate, and she deals with her guilt by mood-altering drugs and alcohol. And I say this as I drink my grapefruit rosé, but that's neither here nor there. Initially, I thought that Soji was malfunctioning, but I don't think so. I think she's just discovering that she really isn't human, and she's going to lead the Romulans to the synth world. But I think it's going to be more than that. I think that the original Borg were some type of transitional species, and they were the scouts to bring all of the knowledge that they could possibly bring to an ultimate race of ascension beings, to bring order to a chaotic and non-human universe. Kind of on the level, but doubly so, of the what would they call the shapeshifters and the changelings in the Gamma Quadrant, and their need to bring order. But there has to be some type of altruistic means for how they use the Borg to gather up all the knowledge of all the different species to just download into one super computer. I don't think they would risk annihilating and genocide to be able to do that. I think they would have something better. But we'll see, because the way that the episode left, we have 4 more episodes to just wrap up this particular season, but I'm hopeful that it will leave us with another storyline, not only to Star Trek Online, but to the timeline with Xbox One, but also as a preamble to greater things to come in this next season season 2 of Star Trek Picard, or even a storyline that can be applicable with Discovery. And as I said at the top of this segment, I give this episode 5 blasts of my laser or phaser, because I thought the storyline, the optics, and my play boyfriend were all amazing. And I hope you enjoyed this particular episode of Star Trek Picard just as much as I enjoyed commenting on it. This podcast is my path of entertainment and a form of therapy and an outlet for creative freedom. But if you don't have this outlet and you're struggling with depression, anxiety, or addiction, call 1-800-273-8255. It's available 24 hours a day, every day. And there's also an on-site chat feature at suicidepreventionlifeline.org/chat/. If vodka is your problem, call 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. Then there's also apps like Talkspace and Doctor on Demand that will actually be able to help you right where you are in the privacy of your car at a fraction of the cost of conventional therapy. It's okay not to be okay, and it's definitely okay to ask for help. Please navigate to www.Dale's Angels Inc. for all special offers and updates on nerd news, as well as you can drop me a line at TennesseeFroisReading@gmail.com, or even leave me a 2-minute non-trolling message at 423-463-0658. All non-trolling messages may actually be read or played during the podcast. If you like what you're hearing and you want to support continued great content, please become a patron at podbean.com/The Talking Fro, or put 5 on it and leave me a tip at paypal.me/Felicia DAI. And I hope you have enjoyed this podcast as much as I have enjoyed